Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here and welcome to Puppet Panic. In this episode I'm going to...
Jambareeqi, I'm hungry!
Now Henson, I told you I'm not supposed to feed you after midday. I can't... Okay, fine, what's the time? Well, it's 12:01. Maybe I can get away with feeding you one little cracker. Yeah? Okay. Good. No! What have I done?
Just kidding.
In this episode, folks, Gremlins. Gremlins is a black comedy horror that centres on a young man called Billy, who's working at a bank to support his family while his father is busy trying to sell his own inventions. However, he's lucky enough to have a friend called Kate, who he shares a hint of romantic connection with. For Christmas, Billy's dad gives him a brand new pet that he bought from a mysterious shop in Chinatown. However, it's no ordinary pet. It's a mogwai called Gizmo, a strange little creature that must never be fed after midnight, plus kept away from sunlight, bright lights and water. Breaking one of these rules could lead to big trouble, and that's exactly what happens. After someone accidentally spills water on Gizmo, the little mogwai spawns evil monsters called Gremlins, who cause havoc and destruction on the town. Like I said in my Paranorman review, family-friendly horror is tough to do because you've got to be scary, but keep the sensitive young audience in mind. Some kids do love horror, and it's great when filmmakers acknowledge that not all children will cry or scream at anything that says boo. Gremlins is a fantastic example of family horror executed well. The film is fully capable of pulling off a tone of horror that's the right level of scary for kids. The atmosphere it creates when attempting a scare is truly effective, taking its time to build up to gremlin confrontations and choosing to keep the gremlins' features well hidden for most of the film until it feels right to show them off. I also admire the movie for being creative with the Gremlins kills without getting too grisly. It takes a lot of ingenuity to show murder on screen without being too violent, because it shows a level of thoughtful subtlety and restraint, which certainly stands out when the rest of the film is so cartoony and silly. Sure, the Gremlins themselves are killed in very horrific ways, but because their blood is green, it's not too brutal for young audiences. It's a bit like how Samurai Jack had the excuse of robot enemies to get away with being super violent. Although, I'll admit that some children may cry at some of the imagery in the film, so not every kid is going to enjoy the horror. However, the movie isn't entirely dark and gruesome. It also has a wonderful sense of humour. The Gremlins themselves, while threatening and dangerous, are really fun to watch because they're a bunch of delightfully mischievous and naughty critters who take so much childish pleasure from causing trouble. It's hard not to laugh or smile whenever the Gremlins are on screen, because they take so much joy from being dastardly little shits. That's what great black comedies do. They tap into our darkest sense of humour and bring out guilty chuckles. I also really like the heroes of our film. They're decent human beings who look out for each other, but they're not stupid idiots or goody two-shoes. When pushed, they will put their everything at risk to save the day and solve the problem of the Gremlins. Heck, the most badass scene actually comes from Billy's mum, who gathers the courage to kill the Gremlins all by herself. There's something incredibly charming about seeing an everyday parent being empowered like this. I love it! Gizmo himself is also an adorable little treat. I kept squeeing and smiling every time he came on screen because he's just so darn cute. His squeaky voice, tiny little limbs and innocent personality make him so sweet that he almost gave me diabetes. The movie is also set during Christmas, which may seem like an odd choice for a horror movie setting, but I honestly think it works. This is a film about the corruption of innocence, as it follows evil monsters taking over a peaceful, quiet town. It's all about darkness consuming light. What better time than Christmas to juxtapose the horror against, to fit this overall concept? The horror of the Gremlins really stands out when placed alongside a holiday about happiness, joy and peace. Now, what about the puppetry, the focus of this review series? Wow. Just wow. This movie has some of the best puppetry I've ever seen in a film. It really is a showcase of how tangible and believable animatronics can be. The puppets are beaming with wild energy. They're able to be super cartoony and bouncy without trying to force through their limitations. As the Scooby-Dooby puppet movie demonstrated, trying too hard to make your puppets do things outside their restraints can end up looking awful. I like how expressive every puppet can be, whether they're being over the top or subtle. Each puppet showcases a wide range of emotions to help us see something human in them. But at the same time, the puppeteers are brilliant at giving distinct personalities to each puppet. Many of the Gremlins are given their own little personalities. It's really charming, and the puppeteers are capable of helping set each one apart. I also love how the puppeteers make Gizmo noticeably different to his evil doppelgangers at their beginning stages. It must have been really daunting to find a way to create dark and twisted versions of lovable, cuddly Gizmo, but the puppeteers actually found a way. To conclude, I think that Gremlins is a really fun movie with so much personality. If you like a horror to be a good balance of scary and cute, then this is the movie for you. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope that you enjoyed this review. Feel free to support me on my Patreon, a website for my fans to make monthly donations to me to support myself and my channel. In return for your donations, you can get some really exciting rewards, including film requests, access to videos before they come up on my YouTube, and much more. So what am I going to be reviewing for the next episode of Puppet Panic? Well, let's not forget there's a sequel to Gremlins. Cheerio, folks.